Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. All right, people. This is an ever so important one, and I feel like it just doesn't get talked about enough. But it is incredibly important. It's one of the roots as to why these women are going to find us attractive, in all honesty. Does she feel safe around you? Does she feel protected around you? Quite simple, that's my question. Does she feel safe around you? Does she feel protected? So when you start dating, right? I'm personally, I don't value a good physique and muscle mass like a lot of people out there do. And I know I got this on, but watch. Bada bing, bada boom. You see that? I got muscle, yeah? I'm strong. I'm very strong. I'm a power lifter. So I think as far as getting your foot in the door, you're just as good being a lean person, well defined, got the jawline shining, you got the cheekbones out and about. If you've got good genetics, even better. But I think the unconscious perception of health is just as important as being muscle bound and being heavy and being big. Okay? There is benefits to being swollen and controlled, and I'm going to say that, but I don't place the same amount of weight on it as like just being a lean guy, because trust me, not many people stick in the gym for as long as I have. Not many people have got the physique I have, and the men around me are just as successful with women than I am purely based on aesthetic. Now, with that being said, once you are in that space and you start to become familiar to the point where she can feel your embrace, she can feel your strength. And they say strength isn't a weakness, right? It's actually good. You're better off having a couple of muscles on you than not. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what's going to happen is she's going to start to say, I feel safe with you. I feel safe in your arms. And this, that, and the third. Now, this isn't completely applicable purely to strength and size. Because she's going to feel safe with you if you're smart. She's going to feel safe with you if you're financially well off. There's different realms this can be applied to, but the bottom line is, in order for you to get through the door and be with her in hopefully a sexual manner, you will have had to showcase to her that you're not threatening, and then once the relationship establishes, she's going to have to feel comfortable in your presence, but know, if she wants to stay there for a long time, that you have some degree of capability of looking after both of you, and hopefully the child that'll come down the line. That's her biological protocol. So a man who doesn't have any sort of aesthetic significance as far as strength and size and mass and whatnot, he may be well reserved. He may be composed, and he may not allow the tide of emotion to take him off course, take him off of his game and his concentration. And that sense of self and understanding of self is a safety net for her as well. Because she'll look at you and know, you are a man, and you do have the volatile nature of a man. If we've got testosterone, come on. I watched an interview the other day, the dark side of people who inject, testosterone and the like. Bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders. And one says, truth be told, I got 25 times the testosterone. You correct me if I'm wrong, if you know the science behind it, but from what I remember, so I got 25 times the amount of masculine hormone running through my veins than the next person. I'm angry all the time. I'm aggressive. I just want to fight and I want to do this and that. I don't do it because I'm smart enough and I understand myself, but this is where I'm at. So that's an accentuation and a highlight of the masculine hormone. We still possess a ton of that hormone in relation to the woman. So the idea that we have that capability and potential, but we're reserved and we keep it to ourselves, not out of a fearful manner, just through the face of her observing her C threats, and when she's dating us, she will test us to see if she can push our buttons, and she knows when she's coming across a button and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. We're not reacting in an emotional manner. She knows that you have the composition and the control to be dangerous. I've done videos about man needs to be dangerous. You need to have the potential for incredible violence, if needs be, in order to settle down the men who try to pick on you. Alright? And put comfort into these women to know that they are protected, but you are controlled and reserved. If you're a professional fighter, it goes without saying. You will be able to protect that woman. That woman is feeble in a world full of men. Imagine if you were... If men were like, 5'3". You were a 5'3" man. We're switching it. And all women were what? At an average over here in England, at an average of 5'10", 5'11". Yeah? That's the normal average man. Average normal female. You're walking around. It could be any one of these. Imagine they've got the strength of the men as well. Any one of these people could just grab you and run off with you. Or do you some serious harm. So you, as her man, need to serve purpose, and you need to prove this time and time and time again. You can't back down when it comes to protecting your woman, because she will lose all faith, and she will find the next person who can do that for you. She won't respect you if you showcase any sort of timid behaviour in relation to where you should be protecting her. And this game gets deep. This game gets deep. Do you like insects? I don't. I can't stand spiders. I don't want to really touch a large spider. I think they're gross, right? But in front of a woman, I can't be skittish. And let's say I'm living with a woman, a big spider in there, and she says, sort that spider out. A lot of men, now, let's be real, you tell me, yeah, it depends on your background, right? If you're a gardener, you're probably not fussed. But as a general man who might have had your father in the household dealing with this sort of crap, and you've not necessarily dealt with it, you might be a bit skittish, a bit, I don't want to get near that thing. It sends a shiver down my spine. A lot of men are going to be like this. But the moment you showcase that to that woman, she's going to think, if you can't protect me against some tiny little insect, what can you protect me from? So it's all a test. The tiniest little micro action has a domino effect as to what it would be like on the large scale. You need to understand these things. So I'm asking you, does she feel safe in your presence? When you're walking around after having a date, you've had a few to drink, and it's the weekend and you're in the city centre and there's a lot of drunk idiots about, a lot of people acting erratic and a lot of excitement going on. She needs to feel safe with you. And you should be at a position where you feel comfortable and safe to the point where you can handle things appropriately and correctly. And that's not a means of violence. It's not a means of this, that and the third. It's a means of, as it states in the art of war, defeating the war by not participating in it whatsoever. The final core, the final reaction to warfare, the final action that you take is actual violence. All the way up until then, you got no time for that. You avoid that. Don't bring that energy into your life. Don't bring it into hers. They'll try to wind you up and say, "Ooh, I think it's hot. I think it's attractive when men do this and that." And if it goes in your favour, yeah, you know what? She will find it attractive. But don't put yourself in harm's way for no woman. Come on now. Unless you have to. Don't go out of your way to put yourself in that position. That's a bad place to be. So that's some game. If you can... And I'll put on the flip side, right? If her boyfriend, if her husband don't protect her, doesn't look out for her, and you can showcase them traits, you can steal that guy's woman. She's going to feel safer with you. She's going to feel more comfortable with you. She's going to come and be attracted to you. I swear to you. So that's some game to ensure that if you're in that man's position, you have to, if you're not doing it now and you're looking back in hindsight and thinking, I was a bit skittish here, I was a bit blah-de-blah-de-blah. Bro, the moment you switch that off and showcase that you've turned a new leaf just through tackling and facing them fears, she's going to be like, what's changed in this man? Wow, that's so attractive, right? 2 links down in the description. One will take you through to the catalogue of body language. Over 220 videos of how to read people through their subconscious behaviour. That's free of charge. It's a YouTube playlist of mine. Second to that is the Patreon, where you will join me in watching videos of people on their first dates. I'll show you attraction body language. I'll show you repulsion body language. You'll be able to break that down, see that into the real world, wherever you live, because it's hardwired in all of us, and you'll be able to manoeuvre through the dating market like a professional. You won't get that game elsewhere. I'm signing out. Peace.